Marshtomp on its shadow form will be the main focus of today's content, and of course in Evolution Cup Marshtomp is gonna have a ton of great matchups, while Charjabug is gonna almost be walled down, which is pretty great. We're looking at a pretty neat generalist with its shadow form able to do so much damage with its moves. I figured out that Shadow is a must-have on Marshtomp because it can have so many more good matchups throughout the entire meta, able to two-shot down a lot of opponents with a couple of shares or those mud bombs, pretty much like the Drapion on Open Great League. So now without any further ado, cue the intro. This triple shadow team is an absolute menace for Evolution Cup, and we're gonna start off the video with a Golbat up in front. Let's get our hands on the surf because obviously ground moves are not gonna work here, and right after you can see that a couple of those can absolutely come in clutch. Of course, this is what the Shadow Marshtomp is gonna do because the regular one might need 2 surfs and perhaps 1 more if you are not careful, so that's why you need the Shadow bonus for sure on that attack stat on your Marshtomp. So both Slam now can easily be tanked with our Golbat, and as you can see we can still push with those Poison Fangs. To our good fortune we have very good IVs on my Golbat, so right after we can get to another Poison Fang before we get farmed down. That was super clutch because right after they can farm down, but still now it all depends to see what they might be having as their third Pokemon. Marshtomp now for the win, and at the back there is gonna be a Vigoroth. Hopefully for us our Dusclops is gonna work pretty nicely here, and of course Marshtomp is also gonna have kind of a neutral matchup against that white ape. To be fair though, I think that this entire team is gonna work pretty well against Vigoroth, and because we have a very good backline against Vigoroth, I would recommend to go ahead and switch aggressively to your Dusclops when you have a lead Vigoroth up in front. But enough about that factor, we're gonna see it later on. Over here I'm trying to snipe them down with the surf, but they managed to catch on the Golbat. Of course we have the shield up, so that means that we can easily reach here to another one to finish off the remaining HP that they're having since their shields are down, and obviously we're gonna start off the video in a positive vibe. Against Dusclops now, we're gonna stay in here a little bit, try to go for at least 1 Mud Bomb worth of damage, since I want to see how much we can do. If they were on Shadow as well, perhaps a double Mud Bomb could easily do the job here, but since they want to stay in with a regular form, I decide to go ahead, throw the Mud Bomb, block the next move, which happens to be the Poltergeist for big damage, and right after we're just gonna bank that energy by following their switch to our Dusclops. All of a sudden we have a crazy win con here, even though they can reach to those rock slides. A double Ice Punch is already imminent, and I'm gonna go for 1 extra Hex before going for the Ice Punch, just in case I can catch them off guard with that energy gain. It doesn't matter, this will make no difference on the outcome because the final Rock Slide is imminent and we're gonna go down to the Vigoroth. Of course the work can easily be completed with a farm down by Golbat, and right after we got a couple of those Poison Fangs to threat that Dusclops. Able to reach here to the surf to snipe them down before they do anything weird, and now we have a lot of energy to spend even on their final Pokemon. They use the shield on that Dusclops, and I'm expecting them to use another shield here since we are fully pressuring them down with that Primeape in the end game. Able to go ahead and block, I believe, at this point, because I'd rather take an Ice Punch from that Dusclops than from that Primeape, to be fair, because of the crazy attack stat difference, and eventually they will back out, so another victory will be for our Marshtomp team. Against Dragonair now, we're just gonna be able to push a lot with those Mud Bombs, but at some point we might feel the need to switch out to our Dusclops, and since they took that first move pretty easily, I decided to bring my Dusclops right after into play. So they want to respond with a switch out to Vigoroth, and this is happening too often, to be fair. Anyways, Ice Punch here is gonna do a lot of work up against them. I know that even 1 Rock Slide will not be enough to finish me off, while I can still reach to another pair of those ice punches. One for the shield, one for the knockout perhaps. Let's see how low we can bring them over here. And they are gonna block the second one, which is absolutely awesome. Able to get now the shield advantage, while at the same time we can return into the battle with our Marshtomp. And I know that perhaps I need to block here completely my Marshtomp, but for the second move I decided to let it go through, charge up to a single move, then switch out to Golbat to farm down the energy dry Vigoroth, and all of a sudden at the back they have a charge bug. The battle is definitely not over yet. We got the Poison Fang for the Dragon type after we overfarm a lot, and right after we got the Shadow Ball for even bigger pressure on their end. Before going down though, I'm gonna press my chances, all of my chances of winning to that Poison Fang, and immediately right after we're gonna win the CMP race to the Surf, and with the help of the debuff from that Golbat, this is a teamwork, we managed to get the victory for this one. A pretty sweaty one, and we are moving forward to another pretty bad lead, I can say, against its Vilus. Hopefully though another pair of moves can easily seal the deal at this point, so we're just gonna be able to do that with another move. But as you saw there, the FPS dropped on my phone for some reason and we get the knockout. Not only we spent a shield in the process, we lagged and also lost that lead advantage as well. How can we possibly win this one now? At the back they have a Haunter with the shield advantage, which is absolutely terrifying for me, but hopefully this Pokemon is super glassy that perhaps they cannot survive my falling moves even when they are resisted, like this Poison Fang. Able to see now that at the back they have a Vigoroth with Rock Slide, and once again I will take my chances here with my Dusclops. The one red-eyed ghost type is just gonna dominate with its spamminess, and obviously at this point another Rock Slide is imminent. I'm just gonna get my hands on another pair of those Ice Punches, and at some point I might need to switch out of here as soon as possible, because I know that they still have that Haunter alive and well. Able to snipe down now that Vigoroth out of existence, I will try to go for as much damage as possible on their end, and of course Haunter will be the remaining Pokemon. We end up farming each other down, and since we have one more Pokemon alive, even with that little amount of HP, we're still gonna take this victory with Dusclops remaining in the end. Into the next one now with a Silo, which is another bad one for our pretty derpy face over here on its Shadow mode. So Silo is gonna drop those body slams pretty effectively, 5 for the first, 4 for the second as always, and you can see that it is bulky enough to survive 2 Shadow Mud Bombs, which is something that not a lot of Pokemon can do on this meta. So on the switch, once again we are meeting up with a Vigoroth. I don't know what is happening, a lot of Vigoroths against my Dusclops. I'm telling you, every single time I'm using this Pokemon, mostly I'm getting matched up with that Vigoroth, and of course those Ice Punches are not gonna be appreciated by my opponent. Another one before going down, they have totally lost track of my energy, and of course since they cannot farm down, they have to reach to another Rock Slide to finish me off. So with Dusclops out of the way, I think that we can still have the upper hand because of that shield advantage. I need though to block the next move, whatever it is, and it is the Rock Slide with my Golbat, even though they have an Ice type, because this Ice type is severely low. Perhaps they were expecting here the Poison Fang, but I knew better and of course reached to the nuke, even though they had one more shield remaining. Into the next battle now with that Dragonair up in front, and of course as always I'm gonna throw my Mud Bomb, and at some point I will try to catch the move on the Dusclops. My opponent here though will wait a little bit longer than usual, so now they're gonna throw the Aqua Tail for some cheap damage on my Ghost type Pokemon. Another Aqua Tail is coming up, and since I have a feeling that I can easily go ahead and farm down, I will spend a shield in the process. Unfortunately for us, we cannot get our hands on the Poltergeist, so my opponent will block the move on that Piloswine, and before we reach to another one, they manage to finish us off. So now we have access to the Surf for big time damage on their end, and of course we need to do one more shield, the final one for this individual matchup, to get to another Surf and of course guarantee the knockout against the Pokemon that my Golbat is afraid of. Now at the back they have a Vigoroth, and I will try to get my hands on those Poison Fangs as soon as possible so that I can do even more damage throughout my entire effort to reach to another Poison Fang with those wing attacks. Dragonair comes in. I managed to get the complete farm down here since we were expecting the switch, and now Vigoroth will return for the final time into play, and we managed to finish it off right on the edge of this one. So good IVs really matter, trainers, especially on Evolution Cup. Into the next battle now, and we're having Ice Punch on that Vigoroth. I really hate Vigoroth against my Marshtomp when I have a backline that can easily finish it off. So over here my opponent will get their hands on their own Dusclops, and of course this one is gonna have Shadow Punch. So at this point I'm just gonna throw my Poltergeist, able to one-shot down this Pokemon, but out of nowhere they sealed it. I was not expecting the seal, to be fair. Over here I was hoping that we could go ahead, move with that Poltergeist and the Nuke, but that was a big bummer. So right after we're having now Mud Bomb on our Marshtomp over here, and we're just gonna keep going with those moves. Marsh Bomb is gonna fire off the next charge attack to finish off Dusclops, and we're gonna still maintain that shield advantage. So Vigoroth now is gonna be able to reach those Body Slams, and as I have already stated in a previous video, going straight for that Rock Slide will never work for that Vigoroth because the counters are always gonna be double resisted. So by throwing a double Body Slam it will make more sense than usual, and as it seems at this point my opponent decided to quit this battle since they had a Togetic at the back and we still had that shield advantage. So that is gonna be all for today, trainers. Thank you for watching and for staying around till the end of this video, because it really means a lot for this channel, the support that you show to my content. Before you go though, just be sure to smash that like button, leave the biggest like that you can, subscribe to the channel if you are new to my content, and over here I have 2 videos for you to check out. Feel free to check them out, and I will catch you up later into the next one.